Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. Moaning. There have been record labels which were themselves a mark of quality. Motown, Stax, Stiff, Factory and 4AD were all labels that had fans and collectors. Each had a recognisable style. The jazz label Blue Note was very much such a case. If you are looking for that sound that I and many others believe is the epitome of jazz, possibly the pinnacle of jazz, then the place to look is Blue Note. It is that kind of jazz you have heard on soundtracks, that kind of late night jazz that will be playing in the smoky clubs visited by latter-day film noir detectives. It is the sound of the look of its covers, the distinctive Blue Note covers that so evocatively captured the lived-in faces of African American musicians and matched them to perfect graphics. This album does not have the title on the cover, just the name of the act and Blue Note 4003. I was in a jazz kind of mood and found it recommended on a streaming platform. I thought Blue Note 4003 was what it was called, and that is maybe why I listened. It is actually called Moaning, and the title tune is one I must have heard 1,000 times without knowing the title. It has a catchy riff and a lot of clever noodling improvisation. If you want jazz of this kind, then this is exactly the kind of jazz you want. It is the pure thing, it is no kind of fusion. It swings like jazz should swing with acoustic instruments. Art Blakey was a drummer who put together a number of versions of his jazz messengers, all with players at the top of their game. There is a kind of jazz drumming that appeals to me. I have seen it in clips of Gene Krupa and Buddy Rich. It is that tribal tom-tom solo that swings, a high point in any jazz act, so unlike the dreaded rock drum solo. There is that kind of drumming on one of the tracks on this album, a track that brings to my mind the dance scene in West Side Story, and anything that makes me think of West Side Story makes me happy. Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. Moaning.